What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another spectacular episode of the SuperGen's Nintendo Nation podcast. And the new thing that I'm starting, as always, shout out to
Nintendo Force
as well, because they're awesome.
I actually looked them up. They are impressive.
It's really cool.
And I'm very tempted to subscribe, but I have to hold back.
And I don't have the
Amiibos
money to
are
do
coming,
it, otherwise I
you know?
would. Exactly,
That's what I mean.
dude.
Amiibos are coming.
It's
Lack
like
of self-control.
It's Game of Thrones, dude. Instead of winter, it's Amiibos.
Yeah.
But the real shout out is at Game of Greggy on Twitter. Shout him out. Tweet him this episode. Tweet him all of our other videos. Just annoy the shit out of him to get him to notice us.
You could do it. Yeah.
Do it. Anyway, moving on. Jumping into the news. This is our special, wonderful annual E3 spectacular.
Episode 101. No.
This is not.
Wonderful 101. Yeah, we all thought it.
Except me.
No. E3 episode.
E3 special, E3 spectacular. And right now we're going to start off with some not E3 related news.
Okay, cool.
Number one, Pikmin 4. I know you were wondering why it wasn't there, just because I was. It is never been given a release date, so it can't be delayed. But Pikmin 4 is progressing well, according to Mr. Miyamoto-san. In an interview he was in at Eurogamer.
Okay.
So cool.
That's cool. Especially if it's going to come to Switch, a Pikmin game on Switch.
You know,
all more for like
a real
ammo
Pikmin game on Switch,
pumping out right
gonna be
now.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody was wondering. Everybody thought Pikmin 4 was gonna be there. Everyone thought it was gonna be there.
I didn't, so.
Oh, I did. They announced it 2 years ago that it's in development, and then last July, Miyamoto said that it's almost at the end of development, and that was a year ago, and like almost exactly a year ago, he said, "Hey, it's almost done." And then we're like, okay, cool. That must mean it's coming to the Switch. That's awesome. Way to go. Yeah. We're going to see more about it. And then we got Hey Pikmin.
I'm excited.
And then we found out Hey Pikmin is not Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 is like a real Pikmin game coming to Switch. Going to be great.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Splatoon 2. This is more Treehouse related stuff.
Okay, cool.
Splatoon 2 is the Salmon Run mode, which is like their horde mode, you know?
Okay.
Is the difficulty can be cranked up to 200% difficulty.
Okay.
That sounds
That's
awesome.
Cool. That's like very cool.
I think that's really cool, and it's like a co-op mode. It's a horde mode pretty much from Gears.
Yeah.
And just you're fighting off these same people on this island or whatever.
It's just a bonus feature though, you know.
Exactly. But
itself,
you know that's gonna be so much fun where people are gonna try and do like their percentage. Everybody's gonna try and beat it as fast as they can on 200%. It's gonna be a challenge. Hey, you're gonna get the best team.
Now, how many people can you play as in that mode? Do you know? Did they say anything?
Like together?
Yeah.
4.
So, okay, that's cool.
So that's gonna be really cool. So
Very
that's
cool.
me, you, Dominic, and Jonah probably. You know, Jonah doesn't have a Switch, but
yeah, well, there's
maybe
a Dannery Switch. So
yeah, someone will get a Switch.
people have
And so that'll be really cool. Maybe even Maggie will throw in. But that sounds really cool. I'm excited for
Actually,
that.
I want to throw this out too. I texted Daniel and I was like, "Is it time you get a Switch?" Because he was like sending me stuff on Rabbids and Mario Odyssey, and he's like, "We'll see." And then he texts back like a few minutes later, and he's like, "Actually, yes." He's like, "How could I not support Nintendo when this is like the successor to Mario 64, the successor to Mario RPG?" He's like, "I have to." So it's good. Even the people who are like on the fence. No, but he will basically. Yeah,
okay.
Like he will when all those games start coming out. But
Okay.
he's like, now I have to support them because this is what I've been waiting basically forever for since SNES and N64.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's absolutely incredible.
So like they're even grabbing those people who like he's the hardest one to grab, and they somehow managed to do it just from that.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Way to go. Way to go. And they have 2K18 on there. You know, Daniel loves
He'll honestly probably play.
He loves his 2K.
Yeah, that's true.
Also,
bathtub.
keeping it Splatoon related, we got confirmation that it runs at 60 frames per second and 1080p
On your handheld.
when docked. So I think that's awesome. Like, way to go, Splatoon. Like, of course, it's a shooter game, online shooter. Of course, you want that to be 60 FPS. You know,
I guess.
for all you crazy high tech
You just
people,
inking
it's like
it up, but
it's gonna look gorgeous, dude. That game looks absolutely beautiful. So that's cool. Then we have some more Treehouse love here. We got announced Metroid 2 remake, Samus Returns, which is the remake of Metroid 2, clearly, which was on the original Game Boy, called The Return of Samus.
Okay.
And this is a remake coming out for the 3DS. Completely caught everyone off guard. Although we've been hearing reports for so long that there's a 3D Metroid and a 2D Metroid involved. So, you know, clearly someone knew what they were talking about because we got the 2D Metroid here coming out for 3DS. It's awesome. They were interviewing the guy, Mr. Sakamoto, who is, I guess, the creative director of some of the Metroid. He's been the director for all the Metroid games. He was talking to IGN, and he says you can expect similar, in the question of bonus content, similar to what Zero Mission was. Zero Mission was a remake of the original one on NES that they remade for Game Boy Advance, and then they added like a few extra features. They upped the graphics, you know, kind of made it a little bit more, you know,
now, did you look into
enjoyable
what
for
the special edition comes with yet?
No, but I can Google it real quick too.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because it's only what, $49.99?
It is, yeah, and I got
Which is
my pre-order in at GameStop.
Yeah, which
so
isn't
that's
bad at all.
awesome.
And I was just curious too, because this is definitely a game I need to play. So
pretty sure that it is
tempted right now at the
Metroid
collectors.
Samus Returns.
Does it come with an actual Metroid?
No, but that'd be awesome.
Pet
And then
Metroid.
I can't wait till we get into those amiibo, the amiibo news too, because talking about Metroids.
I'm still waiting for the ARMS amiibo. Honestly.
Here we go. So it comes in a box. You get what looks.
Ooh,
It's a
box?
soundtrack. You get that and the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is a Metroid on a CD. It's
Wait,
like
what's
the
that though?
There's a CD.
So a CD for.
So you
$10
get the soundtrack, yeah. So you get a CD for the soundtrack too for $10, which is cool because I love the soundtracks and I love video game music
it's
and
not
stuff.
bad.
So
It's not bad.
I'm down for that. I'm down for the collector's box that it comes in because I still have Kid Icarus on 3DS and the big box. It has a thing. Not worth as much money though as it used to be. It's only like $30.
Did that come with cards too?
It did, and I still have the card sealed in the package. So
Nice.
yeah, so Samus Remake, similar to Zero Mission, we were just talking about the special edition and everything. So that CD looks awesome. But yeah, so he's in this interview, right, with IGN, and he says you're gonna expect the similar bonus content that Zero Mission had, which was like, it was like a few like extra like things to do. Like it wasn't like
that's cool,
a complete like, hey, here's this entire random arc of the game that takes you 5 hours to complete. You know, that they threw in there, just like a few added things, like new features and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna have like the same main storyline that Metroid 2 was, which the point of Metroid 2 was to you went to this planet SR3, maybe, I don't remember, and the point was that you were there to eradicate all the Metroids.
Okay.
At the end of the game, you find, I think it's at the end of that when you find the baby Metroid, but that could also be the end of Super Metroid.
Spoilers.
No.
I still gotta play it.
Oh, whatever, dude. It's like 23 years old.
It's okay.
But yeah, anyway, so 23, 24 years, I don't know. But yeah, so I think it's at the end of 2 because that's where Other M picks up after Metroid 2 and then leads into Super Metroid or whatever. Yeah, and Other M sucked. But anyway, so he's saying, yeah, you're going to get that, but you're going to get the same story. The story is primarily, though, he was saying that everything's story and like lore based is going to be pretty much in the background of this game.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to be like shoved down your throat that, hey, this is the story. Here are these long, crazy cutscenes and you have to read all this dialogue and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's not how this game's going to play out. This game is like very like action focused, like gameplay.
Okay, that's cool.
Gameplay is their main like reason for putting this game out, and the story is there for those who want to delve deep into it. You can, but it is not going to be like forced upon you like in some other games, which I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm down.
And then lastly, he says they asked how long has this game been in development for? How long have you known it existed? And he said it's been in development for 2 years already. And he says it's almost like it's just about to be done with production. Everything they showed is kind of not like beta, but like
The
still
final
needs
form?
polish. Like it doesn't have polish, not the final form, not yet.
Okay.
But it still needs like just a little bit of polish, and then it's there.
Okay.
So that's really cool. Metroid, 2D Metroid. A ton of people have wanted
I'm
it.
down. Yeah,
for
I
so
need to
long.
play it, so-
like I can't wait for it. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Next up, I forget who it was, but I think it was the director of Super Mario Odyssey, which is not Miyamoto. I think he was just an overseer. But he was asked by, I can't remember if it was IGN or GameSpot or someone. But is Super Mario Odyssey going to have multiplayer? A bunch of people think it will. Just because, you know, like
I didn't even consider that yet, honestly.
A lot of people think there's gonna be like some weird co-op mode because it's like Mario 3D World pretty much focused on the multiplayer part of it. You know what I mean? New Super Mario Brothers is all about multiplayer. Even Galaxy had like a player 2 feature, but that was pretty much just like you could shoot starbits and like collect them and stuff. So it was like a pretty like baby mode. It was pretty much, I think, kind of funny. Calls it like the little sister mode, which I'm like, that's kind of funny. But it's so. That's really cool, but what this guy said to them is that it will probably have multiplayer. They asked him like, "Hey, is it gonna have multiplayer?"
What's
and
probably meaning
exactly.
a game that's coming out
and
this year.
He goes, "Yeah." I don't know. He's like, "It probably will have multiplayer just because it's on the Switch, but I have nothing official to say at this time."
That's so
was like his thing. But he goes, "It probably will because it's on the Switch means it probably will have multiplayer." It's like, dude, what does that even mean?
I know, it's out
like, come on.
It's
Like, I get
literally
that
out
the
in
Switch
what?
is like 3 months.
Yeah, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, so it's like.
Don't give us probably.
Because what, you have June to July, July to August, August to September. Okay, so it's 4 months, like almost exactly 4 months.
Dude, don't give us probably.
Yeah, come on, man.
I thought we were better than this, Nintendo.
But I think this was before the Treehouse stuff, so we might see co-op. Like Treehouse is
like
also
you
going
wanna
on
spoil
tomorrow.
Something
Yeah, so there's 3 days of Treehouse. We've already had one.
He
We've
should have been
already
like
had
probably and then winked.
It could. So it could be either in today's I haven't watched or tomorrow's.
Did he have a twinkle in his eye?
He did not. I don't know. I didn't see him. All I did was read the words.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, we got a new announcement that Lego Worlds is coming to Switch this fall. That's awesome. The physical version includes all the DLC. I found this interesting, and I picked out this Switch title in particular because Lego City Undercover was on Switch, and performance-wise did really, really bad. Okay. And a lot of people didn't like it. They said the frame rate was super choppy. That
Bring
it wasn't
Dimensions
like
over.
So it's like they absolutely should.
Yeah.
But that you can't play in handheld mode, and that's where I kind of see the problem is that every game has to be handheld mode and TV compatible. Because how are you gonna plug in the Portal to
USB?
The USB doesn't fit into the
USB-C. It's got to have a different.
But then
thing.
you can't play it in tabletop mode.
We'll figure it out. No,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird.
No,
but then,
yeah, I guess you're right because the port's at the bottom. So you're gonna need a friend that can hold it up. Maybe it'll come with
Maybe it'll come with a Lego dude. It comes with a person. Oh, you have to build a Lego stand.
Maybe it'll come with friends.
Maybe it comes
full
with
circle.
So for those of you who don't have friends, you get a brand
friend.
new friend. But what they also could do is what they did with like Skylanders on 3DS.
Yeah.
Just make it Bluetooth. Just make it a Bluetooth portal.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know what I mean? That'd be cool. But that's gonna drain your battery hard. But who cares? Lego Worlds coming this fall, physical edition has all the DLC and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now that's interesting because the digital version does not have all the DLC, so I'd imagine that's going to be cheaper, and then the physical version is going to be more expensive, but come with all the DLC. Now, do you think this is a way to mask the infamous Switch tax that we've been hearing so much about, where the digital version of the Switch games are the low price? However, when you have to buy them physically because it costs more to produce a Switch cartridge, that's kind of why the price gets jacked up. Do you think that adding the DLC is a way to mask this? Similarly to how Binding of Isaac, Cave Story, stuff like that comes with, like, you get the instruction booklet, you get the stickers, you get the soundtrack, you get like all this extra stuff to come with it, but it's like, hey, that version's $10 more. I'm
gonna say this, I was peeved.
You think that's a way to like hide that?
Looking on the Steam store this weekend, Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, $9.99.
Was it Afterbirth or Afterbirth Plus?
What is it?
Plus has like an extra 300 worlds, 300 rooms.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
but no, I thought it was like the same thing, and I was like, oh, $9.99, and I was like, but $40 on Switch. But still, I'm like, I do want to get on the Switch to play it on the go, anywhere you want to go.
On there. Yep, and it's awesome.
Honestly, if they need an excuse though to up the price, you know, the Switch tax and all that, like DLC and extra content is the good.
Exactly, as opposed to just putting nothing in there and saying, "Oh, yep, sorry, physical is more expensive."
Yeah, they need to do something like that.
Like at least you're putting this extra content, and that makes it worth it. And that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a mask.
Because we're suckers for that stuff. Like when Mario Rabbids was announced, I was like, "Hey,
collector's edition got
DLC," and you're like, "Sold." You know?
Yeah, it was really only the DLC that I then found out I can get just for pre-ordering the regular version of the game. I get the DLC, but hey, whatever.
That's statue and soundtrack.
Neither here nor there.
It's over there though.
Next up, we saw the awesome announcement on Microsoft's press conference, actually, that Minecraft, in addition to the 4K pixelated graphics that you're getting,
so good,
because Minecraft in 4K, who hasn't been asking for that? I mean, come on, that game is so
all the 10-year-olds.
Oh, that game is so graphically intensive.
Been playing it.
But they also dropped the bomb that there is cross-system play.
Mario's coming to the Xbox.
Maybe, but you can play between Xbox, Switch, and PC can all play together in the same world now.
I know.
And that's awesome. That's incredible. That's a huge step. And then I've been reading up on a bunch of Xbox stuff. And apparently, like, their dude, like, Major Nelson and, like, all these people are, like, I don't know, that's Phil Spencer, too. Same dude.
Yeah.
Have been saying a bunch of stuff about, like, how they want to do more of, like, cross-system things. He's like, we want to exist together. We don't want to be, like, attacking each other and have like this console wars thing. We want to kind of exist together and in the same, you know, realm, so that way like we can do all these cross things. And Sony put down a huge ban hammer on that and said, hell no,
bring it down. We
ain't doing that. We are not crossing. We have no interest in cross system play. We are not going to do it with Switch. We have zero interest in doing that with the Switch.
Working with the enemy.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang, like that's intense. But this is the thing. I mean, everybody called this that it would be if Nintendo went under, their exclusive games like Mario and Zelda and all that would come to Xbox before it would come to PlayStation.
Seriously?
Oh, 100%. They would partner with Xbox.
That's unbelievable. That blows my mind.
Only because there is probably still a ton of bad blood between Sony and Nintendo from what happened back in the 90s and the PlayStation and all that. And the N64 disc drive that then split off and became the PlayStation.
They should let Porygons be Porygons. Why
they all hate each other, why Sony and Nintendo hate each other. They should let Porygons be Porygons, but they never will. But that's why I think so much of that, and it's just like that seriously has ruined everything. So it's like if they're going to anybody, they're going to Xbox.
That's so bad.
You know what I mean? So
those servers aren't going to get any better on there.
I know. So it's like
drop out of Smash battles. Mario Kart's going to lag.
Exactly. So that's super interesting. I find
bad.
that very interesting information. But it's like, okay, cool. But to get back to the news of the day, you need to have an Xbox Live account if you want to cross-play on Minecraft cross-system servers. You have to have an Xbox Live account. So even if you don't have an Xbox, but you're playing on Switch, you have to make an Xbox Live account.
And you log in using Xbox.
Do you need to have Xbox Live
You
Gold,
log
though?
into your Xbox Live
Do you need
account
gold?
through your Switch.
Do you need gold?
I don't think so.
No.
There's no way. Because I didn't get that far in the part. But could you imagine if you did, though? So you had to pay for Xbox Live Gold and you had to pay for Nintendo Online?
I would
play
love
for
it.
Minecraft?
I would love it.
Oh, come on.
And I'll buy my own server.
Exactly. So
I
that's
would.
what's interesting, though. You do
Never.
have to have... So you'll have to log into your Xbox Live account through your Nintendo Switch. Like, it's already happening, man. The takeover's already
Give me the
in the
achievements.
works. It's crazy. Give me the achievement.
Let me see 'em pop up.
The achievements are already in there, but they don't pop up.
No, I want to see them pop up, though.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. But yeah, I just thought that's probably the most interesting bit of news that we have here today.
Yeah.
Next up, I got Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey is going to support every amiibo that has been released thus far. Not just the Super Mario ones, not just the Smash ones, but all of them. So don't know what they do. Probably unlock some costumes, stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Probably even Chibi Robo. They said all. I even capitalized it. See?
Hopefully.
I capitalized
Chibi
the word
Robo.
all.
I think I read though it's only cosmetic stuff that it does into the game.
Probably, but
So
it's
it's not gonna
like,
be, like,
we would have the whole
huge.
uproar of like, hey, here's a whole new world. You get a Fire Emblem world for tapping your Marth amiibo down there. Like, do you know how much uproar there would be? The same amount of uproar that there was for the Fire Emblem
Almond Celica.
Echoes, Almond Celica, that gave you extra dungeons, and they're like, oh, I'm missing out on whole dungeons for the stuff.
Your thing just went yellow.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. It's night mode.
Yeah, that's night mode.
So
Shout out to night mode.
Right, night mode. Thank you, night mode, for sponsoring this video.
I suppose so. I mean, get that blue light out of here.
Right. Can't hurt your eyes now. Your eyes are sensitive.
They're precious.
So yeah, anyway. So yeah, we get Mario Odyssey, have all the amiibos. That's cool. But yeah, I think it is just like cosmetic costumes, which is like whatever. Who cares?
That's cool. Hey, what does Zelda do? Cosmetic.
That's totally true. It gives you armor, and it gives you armor that's not even the best armor in the game.
That's what I mean.
So it's
People
like if you
have
had
lost
0
their
amiibos,
mind
you
over
could
them.
still get better armor. You could still get the best armor in the game without.
I'm
amiibos,
calling it right
so
now.
it's
People are
like,
going to lose their mind over these Mario Odyssey amiibos.
Oh, I guarantee it. My GameStop got one of each of the Koopa and
That's so
Goomba.
weird,
They got
though,
one,
when
but they
it's
got like
whatever.
5 Zelda ones or something. So it's like 5 of each of the Zelda ones or something like that. I don't know. I think they're all sold out now, but whatever. Neither here nor there again. But then we have Rocket League coming to the Switch, which
Wait,
is awesome.
I want to
Big
throw this
news.
out there. Well,
Yeah.
no, I should wait for this, for the E3 thing, but I'm going to forget about it if I wait.
Okay, so
What if during the Pokemon part, like, we didn't notice yet, but he had some new Pokemon amiibos on his desk, and the new Pokemon Switch game is just going to be, like, horrendous with so many Pokemon amiibos.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be, you're complaining
love it.
about pre-ordering 13 right now or whatever it
I'm
is.
gonna
Now
buy-
imagine, like,
Okay,
we're gonna throw,
shout
like,
out to
50
Amiibo
into
though,
the
real quick
wild.
too. There, the Zelda ones, all the Zelda ones come out June 9th or June.
June? No.
Yeah, June 22nd or June 21st. June
Is it
21st.
like a week?
Like 9 days.
Which ones? The 4?
The Zelda Twilight Princess.
Oh, those, not the new ones that were just announced.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, got it.
So Twilight Princess,
Majora's Mask, and
Majora's
then
Mask,
Amazon to be
and then
released.
Amazon has not yet been pre-orderable yet, but
The
people think it's gonna
Nightcap
go.
Zelda.
It's gonna go live on the day of, which is like crap. I'm gonna be glued to my phone waiting for Wario 64 to tweet out that tweet.
We'll be fine, I'm pretty sure.
I hope so. So it's like, yeah, so those come out in like 9 days, and then right after that, you got like 2 more weeks, and then you get Splatoon amiibo
And
come out,
Bayonetta and those.
and then you get Bayonetta, and you get all of the Smash ones come out on July something, Jaloon something they come out.
Jaloon.
So it's like then you have that, and then
The
October.
wallet.
So then that's in July, and then August, September. I don't think there's any. Oh no, September definitely has some. I don't remember what they were. Then October, beginning of October, you've got Koopa and Goomba. End of October, you've got the wedding set, and then after that, you've got Zelda. So I think the Fire Emblem ones come out in September 15th. I think
Got
it was. Yeah, like
Might have to get a third
real.
job.
I might have to get a second job just to
Might have
afford
to get
all
a
these
third or
amiibos.
fourth job
I'm
just for
probably
the
gonna have to get
amiibos.
like 20 jobs.
Yeah.
And then I won't even be able to play with the amiibos. But anyway, so yeah, back to Rocket League. They the producers, our boy Jay Dunham, who is a good friend of the show. I know him personally.
Yeah.
Says that he
Jeff
wants to be able to know Jeremy Dunham.
Shout out to Jeff.
What up, Jeff? I know you're watching. And Carmichael.
Good friend of the
I see
show.
you there too.
Yeah.
But no, so Rocket League, they said they want to get it. They want to push it so hard that it gets to 60 frames per second on Switch docked.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Like, cool. Way to go. Keep talking about them frames, man. But again, like all these online games, like that's where I think it does matter. Like it is like a big deal to have it on online. But Destiny 2 on console is only locked at 30, which our Xbox rep was in telling us about like why he's like saying that. It's not that because he was talking about the Xbox One X, obviously.
Because the Xbox One X can't handle it.
And so, so the thing is he's like, because Bob, my boss, said something like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, even Destiny 2 can't even run at 60 frames a second on the Xbox One X. Like, how powerful really is this thing? And the guy goes, no. And I said, well, the problem then is if you're playing on Xbox One X and I'm playing on regular Xbox and mine is locked at 30 because that's all the original Xbox can handle, but you're at 60, like that's so not fair that you get a 30 frame advantage because you have the newer console and you can afford it. Like, that's not fair. I get that.
I'm paying for the frames.
I guess. But then my Xbox rep was in, and he goes, no, it's not that. He goes, it's literally because Destiny, Bungie's servers can't output to the consoles at 60 frames a second. He goes, their servers aren't strong enough to output 60 frames. So he's like, the Xbox can handle it, and they would do it. But it's all on Bungie's side as to why it's not happening.
Bungie.
And then I was like, that's interesting because why can they do it for PC? PC runs at 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
So how come the PC servers can run at 60 frames a second, but the console ones can't? So I'm a firm believer that it's the disadvantage. But whatever. I don't care because it's Destiny 2 and I'm just going to play it on PlayStation anyway.
Or on Switch.
I wish it was on Switch. We got also confirmation next item on the wonderful, beautiful list here.
101.
No Call of Duty. Confirmed no Call of Duty World War II coming to Switch. I don't think this is a shocker to anybody, right? Already mentioned that Sony does not care for cross-system play with Nintendo Switch. Yoshi, that we saw, that new Yarn Yoshi game that we saw during the
was it Yarn, though?
Big Beautiful Direct. It was in fact Yarn. It was 100% Yarn. It was all cardboard. It was all that. Yeah, I thought it was Paper Mario at first, remember?
Interesting.
But yeah, Yoshi, that game, and it's just called Yoshi right now, also working title, is running and designed on Unreal Engine 4.
Is it a supposed 2017 game?
Yeah, it's 2018. This is coming out.
Oh, so next year, though.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Right.
Got it.
So that's cool, though. Yoshi looks awesome. I'm super psyched for it. I loved Yoshi's Woolly World on Wii U. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. Cool. Unreal Engine 4. So, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, I just can't wait to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, June 22nd, we got Oceanhorn. Another one, my boy at Game Over Greggy. Obsessed with this game.
Yeah, he was obsessed with it.
This is very, very close, I guess, to, like, Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And it plays a lot like Wind Waker. Feels a lot like a Legend of Zelda game. So it's another one that I'm going to have to throw on the list there. And
just let it sit on the SD
yep,
card.
and I'm just going to put it on the wish list. Because I think I have something like $75 worth of games on my wish list right now that I want to download. But it's like never going to happen.
It's not too bad.
It's not, because I'll get like cards and stuff like that. I'll use my trade credit towards
Confirmation's coming up.
all this stuff. Yeah, confirmation. I'm about to get confirmed.
Yeah.
No,
Again, second confirmation.
right. That was what? That was 9 years ago that I was
second
confirmed.
Confirmation's
So,
coming up, yeah.
to Oceanhorn, June 22nd. That will be after this video airs. So yeah, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then last item that I have on the list of random news, some of which was from E3. Axiom Verge is getting a physical version.
Yeah,
I don't remember if I said this in the last episode or not, but it doesn't hurt to re-say it because Axiom Verge seems like an incredible game. It's, again, one that I have not played, and this is just like Shovel Knight for me, where everybody's like, oh, Shovel Knight's so cool, you got to play it, all that stuff. That game came out in, 2011, Shovel Knight?
Yeah, it's old.
Didn't play it until I just got it on the Switch, the day the Switch came out, on March 3rd. So, been playing through that. And it's taking me even longer to beat it. I just beat Spectre Knight.
Yeah.
Took me so long. That boss was so hard. And I'm like, I don't know why it was hard, because then I played it. I took a break for like 3 weeks, went back and played it, beat him on like my second try.
Yeah.
And like figured out. And then I finally figured out how to use your magic item. Had no idea. And it's just like Castlevania. Like, this game is like plays and feels just like Castlevania. You just hold up and then hit your magic button, and he throws like fireballs because that's the magic item that I have equipped.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my god, I just found that out. Makes the game so much easier. I was just trying to hit everything with my shovel, and it does like half a thing of damage, and you got to be like right on top of the dude, and then he hits you with the scythe, and then he kills you, and it's a big disaster. But
hey, at least you're playing it. That's
exactly. And then running back to
Switch.
Axiom Verge, getting a physical edition. What's interesting though, physical edition on
Give me that Switch tax.
Get you on Switch, get you on PS Vita, on PS4, and on Wii U.
So one copy gets you all four?
No. There's a physical version
release
for each of those.
Man, that would have been so good.
Wii U is getting
Dragon
like
Quest.
another physical game coming out, which is awesome, just like the War Master edition of Darksiders rather.
Fair
that
enough.
just came out. So that's cool. But yeah, that comes with a bunch of extra goodies too. I think the soundtrack is in there, but it's like comes in a nice box, and you know how I am about my cardboard boxes. Love them. So that's cool. Can't wait to pick that up. Comes out sometime in August. Alrighty, now moving on to today's topic / more news. We've got E3. What did you think of that Direct compared to the rest of them?
Garbage.
Okay, cool. So
Absolutely
that
trash.
that wraps it up. We actually have no more information to talk about it.
There you
So
go.
thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out.
See ya.
All right, but for real, best conference of the show by far.
I'll say this: Nintendo was definitely out of the game, at least for me in my books. You know,
And because of
Like-
this direct, during this direct?
no, prior to the
Oh,
direct.
oh,
you know,
oh.
because even I was telling you, like the last Pokemon direct was.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, I can see why they did it now in retrospect, where it's like, hey, here's 3 re-releases because we don't want to muddle what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
But like from the point of when they just come out and they're like, hey, for Pokemon, we're Sun and Moon Ultra. It's like, seriously, and it's like Pokken, like, yeah, that's cool, but it's like we already had it.
Right.
And then Gold and Silver, yeah, it's another cool thing, but it's like, where's the new stuff?
Right.
You know, so kind of once again, you left that, and even the Switch reveal when that happened, that was like. Like it wasn't like great. It was focused on hardware. It showed us Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem, Shin
Which it
Megami
was supposed
Tensei.
to. The point
Like,
of it was the hardware.
Good, okay? It was definitely good, but it wasn't like
Wait,
great.
the January?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's what I'm saying. Imagine if the greatness that you felt from this E3 was felt in January at that Switch conference.
Then my
That's
E3,
what I'm trying to
but
say,
then
though.
my E3 that I feel right now would have been the press conference we had in January. So I'm glad I got the crappy January one out of the way. So
But
by
that could
the
go
time
either
E3
way. You
rolled
could say
around, I
that
was
with
super
any
happy.
you could switch it anyway and kind of say that.
100%.
But I'm saying,
and I'm saying I'm happy that they chose to blow their load all
I
over
guess.
my face on
I
at
guess.
E3.
fair enough.
So
But yeah, it was definitely cathartic to say, like, the very least, because like Mario Odyssey looks amazing.
Yep.
It's like my brother was saying, the spiritual successor to 64, which is what we've been waiting
Yeah,
for since
absolutely looks
N64 days.
incredible.
Rabbids, obviously we knew about that from Ubisoft prior, but once again, that's like the spiritual successor to Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, which once again we've been waiting for something like that since Super Nintendo time. So that's finally coming. They showed us Kirby, they showed us Yoshi, they showed us Metroid.
Yep.
Yeah, Xenoblade looks awesome. A new Pokemon Core RPG. Once again, that was like, for me, I think the best part was the core Pokemon RPG. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm absolutely incredible.
and I think for the reason be like, yes, you're finally listening. Like, one, a core Pokemon RPG has never been on a console. You could count XD Gale of Darkness.
but that's not a core.
That's what I'm
RPG.
saying. It's like, but it's still a great game. I'm not saying don't
Yeah,
release games
yeah,
like
we're not
that,
discrediting
but
that
like
game,
a
but-
core one.
Right, like a colored version.
That like meant the most to me, where it's like, hey, they listened, or they kind of might know what they're doing now. You know.
Right, but what's interesting is they knew that this Pokemon Core RPG for the Switch was in development long before we got that direct last month. They knew this was happening. This is not something, and the way I think it appears to people and the way people have been reacting on the internet is that these people on the internet think, oh, from the direct we got last month to E3 right now, or whenever we got that Pokemon Direct, to now, within that little time space, is when they decided to make a Pokemon Core RPG. And so many people think that, and I'm like,
That's the same
you guys
mentality.
are crazy, because then their argument is, oh, well, if they knew they were making it, why didn't they announce it during the Pokemon Direct? And I'm like, because they needed another bomb to drop at E3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like what I was saying to you. Imagine if this E3 presentation didn't have that Pokemon bomb. It would have still been amazing, but it's like now it's that extra step of amazing because we had that Pokemon.
It was more of
thing.
like
You know
the
what
thought
I mean?
that counts in that one.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like they finally are doing the right thing again.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that's kind of like when people were saying, hey, maybe that Pokemon game wasn't in development until after, which doesn't even make sense at all.
Exactly.
But that's like when you're in like really young and you go to GameStop and like right now a kid would take up like Call of Duty World War II and be like, yes, I'd like to buy it. You'd be like, no, that's to pre-order it. It doesn't come out for another year. You know, where like they think they have it like
joke. Just shout out real quick to No Joke. These
Shout out to
people,
no joke, yeah.
these people, let me tell you.
Okay.
People come up to me all the time and they see that we have all the Call of Duty World War II posters everywhere.
Yeah.
It says big NOV3 all over it.
Yeah.
Clearly means November
Maybe
3rd.
it was last year though.
So many people come up to me and ask, and they say, hey, is this Call of Duty World War II out yet?
Yeah.
No, it's November 3rd. What? Why do they announce these games so far in advance? That's ridiculous. They need to stop announcing these Call of Duty games so far in advance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, homie, it's been less than a year. The Last Guardian, Final Fantasy 15. It's
out in, like, 4
all this
months.
stuff.
Yeah.
People have been waiting over a decade to play some of these games,
Yeah.
and you're upset that it was announced 8 months in advance.
Yeah.
Like,
But then again,
come
that's
on.
the same thing as like Mario Odyssey. We've been waiting a decade for that kind of game.
For
you know, even though it
Metroid
hasn't
Prime
been
4 that
announced.
we're going to get into later, literally has been a decade. It was 2007 that we got Metroid Prime 3.
Yeah.
And it ended on a cliffhanger. And we've been waiting for the resolution to that cliffhanger for an entire
You might just
decade.
get another cliffhanger.
And we're going to have to keep waiting because all they said was it's now in development, but we're going to get into that later.
Dude, that's its own topic of discussion though. What about
seriously, we
for
could do a
cliffhangers
whole
that you'll never
video.
get to finish in your life?
Yeah. Wait, what?
You know?
Games will never get to finish.
No, not games, but like cliffhangers. Like, they just keep making
yeah.
it. And it just ends on another cliffhanger.
I don't know, with
and it's
Beyond
like,
Good and Evil 2 happening and Metroid Prime 4 happening, I don't know, dude. I think the cliffhangers are coming to an end.
All right,
now, when are we going to get Cliffhanger 2 starring Sylvester Stallone? The sequel to the breakout hit Cliffhanger starring Sylvester Stallone.
2023.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's about him climbing the mountains.
No
and
idea
stuff
what
like
you're
that.
talking about.
It's a great movie. I love Sylvester Stallone, though. Shout out, dude. Tweet
He's
at
friends with-
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Tweet him this podcast and tell him to tweet at me
If
personally.
I can make a request, tweet at Sylvester the Cat.
That's
Maybe
cool,
he'll get
too.
Tweety one day.
He has
That's
his
all
own
I'm
comic
saying.
book, I just learned, too.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a comic book store in Canton the other day and saw Sylvester and Tweety
That's
had their own
cool.
comic. Every Looney Tune has their own comic book.
They
It's
also had a
really
Game
cool.
Boy game.
Like each tune. Yeah, so anyway, that's cool. But yeah, I totally forget where this was going to, so I'm going to jump right into our topic of E3.
All right.
I'm going to run through some treehouse stuff. Are we good with that?
We're at 10%, so it's going to have to be a quickie.
Okay. So we got Fire Emblem Warriors has a Coliseum mode that is pretty much just like a mini story mode where each one has their own it's like you run through like a quick little snippet of the story.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, here's like one quick story. It gets wrapped up real quick while you play in Coliseum mode. Super Mario Odyssey, they were just showing a bunch of stuff. We saw a ton of live gameplay. I recommend going and watching it. Nintendo broke up the videos into segments of what the thing they were talking about was.
Yeah.
So it's the gameplay of Mario Odyssey is split up in its own 40-minute video. The gameplay of Xenoblade Chronicles was split up into its own thing. Pokken was split up.
Yeah.
So go watch the Odyssey ones because it shines so much light on what everything does and how everything in the game works.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So the moons do act as your stars,
Yeah.
but you don't get booted out of the world from it.
Got
and
it.
then when you get a grand moon, which is when you defeat a boss or something, that does boot you out, and that's the star. But it turns out you collect these moons so that you're able to. That the moons are the fuel source for the Odyssey, which is your hat spaceship,
Okay.
and that's what lets you go to these different worlds. So you have to collect a certain amount of moons before you can break the threshold to get to another world.
Got it. It's pretty cool.
So again, that launched October 27th, much earlier than I think anybody expected. So that's really cool. And then I already talked about Metroid Samus Returns, the special edition. Oh, here we go. Actually, the details. While supplies last, fans will be able to purchase a special edition of the game, which includes a physical version of the game, a sound selection CD featuring 25 tracks from across the Metroid franchise. That's cool. And a reversible title sheet insert for the game case, which is
I wish it was
whatever,
one more thing, because then I
Fire
would be
Emblem
over
had
the
that
edge.
too. Yeah. So that's cool.
A
So
soundtrack's cool, but it's
yeah,
There's
but you
YouTube
get the big box.
nowadays.
You get the cool reversible case that isn't in the other one. It's it's $10. You can go to buy the Alkaline Trio CD for $13.99. So that's surprising.
not if you have Apple Music, it's free.
I guess. All right, and then so we have from the actual direct the presentation, the 25-minute spotlight. We showed off more from Pokken Tournament, which is cool, but it was a nice little snippet. It was a little montage. It was Pokken, what's it called, Rocket League, stuff like that. So that's really cool. Again, that comes out September 22nd.
Which I want to say they lost a great thing by not doing Rocket League with Mario Kart people or something.
Well, it's not Mario Kart, but it does get exclusive content and Mario and Luigi themed cars and stuff like that. Brian, you don't happen to have your notebook on you, do you? Where you wrote down all the stuff? Can I have
Just
that?
a notepad.
Also, new Yoshi game announced, like a Yarn Yoshi type deal, which is cool. It looks awesome.
Honestly, I'm gonna buy it. And here's the thing with
I'm 100%
Nintendo:
gonna
if you
buy
want to
it.
buy it, just buy it day one because it's not gonna go down.
It's not
in
gonna go
price.
down in price. Yeah, Nintendo stuff
Here's
does
what I
not
want
go
to
on
say too.
sale.
Remember
Yeah,
all the
lay it
Twilight
on me.
Princess HDs that came with the amiibo?
Yeah, are still $60.
No, you can't even find them
Yeah,
anymore.
you can't go to the exchange.
Okay,
Yeah,
I guess
3 of 'em.
that's fair. You could go there, but Best Buy, when it
Thank
used
you.
to be this giant herd, okay?
Yep.
And they were just all there? No, gone now.
Yep. So here we go. Brian was wonderful and wrote down all the things we saw when we saw them.
Well, wait, I just want to shout out to
Yeah,
the
dude, go
Brian
ahead.
Jocks game on what conference was that?
The what?
The Redwall game.
Oh, that was on Sony's conference. That's a VR game. That looks awesome. It's called
Yeah,
Moss.
Redwall the game.
Dude, I'm down for that.
Moss
But here we go.
Flower. Hey, it's short for Moss Flower. One of the Brian Jocks books.
All right, there you go.
Redwall.
That's probably where they got it from.
Yeah.
Cool. So then we have going straight through. We had Arms,
Gone
Rocket
home.
League, Pokken Tournament, and FIFA and Splatoon 2. We're all in maybe 2.5-minute trailer we
Little
had at the
sizzle.
beginning.
Yeah.
It's that's awesome, cool. But Rocket League was newly announced, and then Rocket League eventually came back at the end there as well to go a little bit more in depth. But that's super cool. Rocket League is a huge seller. Made tons and tons of money.
It's a good game, though.
Sold millions of copies on PS4 and Xbox One. So way
Cool,
to go.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that I think they're also talking about doing cross-system play with that too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So then FIFA 18, we actually have a separate video on FIFA 18 and what that entails. So make sure you check that out. Shout out again to our boys over at Games for Scrubs. One of my buddies, Clark January. Check him out.
I was actually thinking though, what about Clark February?
Literally
I was just sitting in my
everyone,
kitchen one day.
everyone who's ever
Is that what
met
they said?
him has made that joke, and his gamer tag used to be January something, I think. And everyone asked him, they said, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my birthday is in March." And he goes, "It's not my birthday. It's my last name." Happened all the time.
I'm not
yeah.
saying when his birthday is. I'm just saying, is there a Clark for every month? Like we found the January.
Is there? I don't think I've ever
Like,
met
if we were to
anybody's
make a
last name
game,
with
if we were to
February,
make a
though.
game, it'd be to find the Clarks of every month. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah, that'd be cool.
Be an MMORPG, FPS, RTS.
We'll
Yeah.
do it. I love it.
Yeah, it'd be good.
And then we had Splatoon 2, which I just ran over like the same
Switch
run stuff,
exclusive.
extra stuff. Yeah, Switch exclusive.
So he would never play it, but it's okay.
Exactly, but it's okay. I would take my Switch over there and he'd play it.
Fair enough.
So then we've got Xenoblade 2, which was reconfirmed for holiday 2017. That game looks incredible.
There's still time for a delay.
There definitely is. Right here, I got the little like press conference-y type deal. Latest entry in the acclaimed RPG series, a new hero will seek out Elysium on an immense journey through a new world. Game launches this holiday season.
Game
that
on.
100% is going to be the December title. We now have a title for every month of the year, which is awesome. The only two we don't have
Confirmed.
announced for is November doesn't have a title yet. December doesn't have a title yet. Fire Emblem Warriors, though, says fall 2017, which has to be November, and Xenoblade
Here's what I want to say.
says
When you think fall, don't
holiday.
you think cornucopia?
yeah.
And
Which
when you
one's-
think cornucopia, don't you think Thanksgiving?
you do, and when I think Thanksgiving, I think November.
And then you think Fire Emblem Warriors.
I do. So that's why I think Fire
Confirmed.
Emblem Warriors is for sure the November title.
Yeah.
And then this one will be the December title. Then we got the new reveal of Kirby, which was really cool, and that trailer looked awesome. And it was awesome. Just popped up with Stone Cold for.
That just slid out. It was awesome.
I'm sorry. Whatever.
It's all good. It's all good.
So that had the thing, and it was like sometimes you need a sword swinger, sometimes you need a fire breather, sometimes you need someone who's Stone Cold. Seriously, thought this was
Steve
gonna be,
Austin?
Thought this was gonna be a WWE game starring Steve Austin.
That'd have been cool.
Maybe Kirby sucks up Steve Austin. That's how he becomes Stone Cold. But anyway, yeah, and then it's like, or
Stone
you need someone
Kirby.
with like an unquenchable appetite, or like something like that, or like unsatiable appetite, and then Kirby sucks up the screen, and then it's Kirby, and it's a regular, real, side-scrolling Kirby game that you're sucking up enemies, stealing their powers, all that stuff. Heavily focused, it seemed, on co-op, which was
Cool.
really cool. And like Switch, of course, Switch's whole thing is, hey, each Joy-Con is its own controller, pass it to a friend, play together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's awesome. Hopefully that's the case here. I'm sure it will be. Now, what I was talking to Maggie about earlier when her and I were watching it was how cool would it be if it had local co-op and online co-op. So you can have up to 4 people playing. So imagine
Now
you
you're
get
asking
Kirby,
too much.
you get Kirby, Daniel gets Kirby, I get Kirby, Maggie gets Kirby. All 4 of us can play together in our bedrooms at night, play together with each other. Or if we're playing, or if we're
Or
together,
during the day, you never know. It doesn't just have to be in our bedrooms at night. It could be.
or during the day, it's possible.
Bathtubs during the
but
day,
hey,
you
you
never
work
know.
during the day, I work during the day, Maggie works during the day.
Yeah.
I don't know what Daniel does.
He works during the door.
day.
Same place.
So yeah, we're same place as you. So yeah, so exactly. So I just thought night was more appropriate.
Sure.
Whatever. I hate you.
Unless it's a weekend.
Unless it's a weekend and then it's all day, baby.
Yeah. When was the
but yeah.
last? Wait, when was the last like?
Kirby game.
No, not Kirby,
Rainbow
but
Curse.
like 3D World, basically. I'm trying to think of the correct name. Was it on N64 in the Crystal Shards?
Oh, the
Oh,
last
that wasn't even. That
side-scrolling
was
Kirby-
still. That was a
side-scrolling
side
Kirby? Is that
scroller
what
still.
you want?
There was never a 3D Kirby like Donkey Kong 64. Like there was never that branch off of a Kirby game.
I
was
thought
there?
Kirby and the Crystal Shards was that.
I don't know. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I remember playing it, but I remember it being like side scrolling and looking 3D now.
Oh, that's totally possible.
Like you're still like you're going around a
Yeah,
thing.
maybe there was never a Kirby game like that. That's totally possible. I honestly do not
Man,
know.
Crystal Shards was amazing. I got to go back to that.
But anyway, yeah,
pretty
this
sure
Kirby
it's
is
still, like,
nice side-scroller.
side-scrolling at its
Looks
core,
really
though.
cool. Hopefully it's a full release. I want this to be like a 10-hour game. Like I don't want this to be like.
It'll take 4 hours.
No, see, because that was the problem
I'm
with
joking.
Robo.
Robotnik.
No, Kirby and
Bean Machine?
Planet Robobot. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Kirby and the Planet Robobot was on 3DS, and that game was incredible. That game was so much fun to play, but
Yeah.
it was over so fast. There was only like 6 worlds or something, and like 4 levels per world. You ran through it super fast, and like yeah, you could go back and like do all the challenges and stuff.
Insatiable.
Like you could find like the hidden coins or whatever it was, or find like the hidden messages or stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like 100% each level, and then that was really cool. But it's like. That's just going back and doing the collectibles. I want like a full, I want tons and tons of levels in this. You know
Yeah,
what I
I'm
mean?
gonna say
especially if it's a $60 game.
Sidebar for a side topic for another day.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when I had Kirby on like GBA, I could play that game over and over and over, and it never got old.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I know, dude. Because you were.
Because nowadays I
you were
can't even
easily
play one
impressed
game
there.
without it getting old the first time through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
That's so good.
I know, dude. We'll have to go back.
But I think
retrospective on
Kirby's
our
like
lives.
built that good, you know?
Yeah, dude, Kirby's
like
dope.
it's so,
Kirby's awesome.
And you know what's cool is like all the different power ups. So if you're playing one level, it's like, oh, you used that one the first
You
time.
use
Now
the
I
fire
want
one,
to
you
get
can use
this
the ice,
one.
you can use the
What
wheel
can I
one,
do
you can go-
differently? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Kirby's gonna be awesome. I'm super hyped for it.
Right
it looks
back
awesome.
at you. Maybe Rick
that
the
was their
Hamster
TV
makes a
show.
cameo.
Oh, dude, I hope Rick the Hamster's in there, dude.
So
I hope
do
you
I.
can play as Rick the Hamster.
That'd be
Rick
good.
the Hamster for Smash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hashtag Rick the Hamster. For
2019.
Smash. Do it.
Get Rick and Smash.
Then we have the new Pokemon. The guy
Insatiable.
said what he said when this popped up was, "Hey, we're making a new core RPG Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be awesome. However, it may be more than a year out, so
Yeah.
be prepared." And I'm like, that's totally fine. No one cares. Like, we just want to know that it exists.
Yeah, like I
You know
said,
what
it was
mean?
more the thought of being like, hey, this is what you guys want, and it's coming.
Right.
And that's all that needed to be said, where it was like, you listened. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, for that moment when you talk to somebody and you're like, you listened, or that meant something.
Exactly.
That's exactly what that did. It had, like, meaning.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So yeah, and what we think is because it's more than a year out, that's going to be what, 2 years, or
generation?
possibly 3 years in between this. Typically, the time of a new generation.
That's
So-
scary. See, I would personally like it to go back and just be like, every Pokemon's in here.
I would love that, and hopefully
Because
that's what they're
I'm
doing.
afraid the generations keep leaking a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
being,
but
like,
then the problem is,
diluted.
and this is what the problem brought up, and this obviously could be like a whole nother topic too. God, we have a lot of topics in the bank now.
Yeah.
But the problem with doing that, where everybody wants to be put it on Switch and make it all the regions
Yeah,
together.
go for it.
And how cool would that be? But then it's like, the problem is the way that the gyms are designed in your region is that by the time you beat the last gym, you should be around level 60. Then you have to be around level 70 to beat the Elite Four and stuff. So you're at 70, 75 by
Yeah.
the time you beat the game. Imagine if you had to go to another region
Okay, I'm gonna say
and you
this.
start at gym 1 and they're level like 13 and you're rocking these like level 75
Doesn't matter.
Pokemon.
Prestige, like in Call of Duty. Once you get that 8th gym
No.
badge, you kind of go back down, but you have all your attacks are growl, and you got to just level up from
I
there,
don't
you're
think
level
so,
1.
but that's the problem that they have to overcome, and I don't know if they ever
They
can.
could definitely do that.
I don't think so, but we'll see.
It would be so good because when you're at the lower gyms, you can't use the high level Pokemon anyways because they're going to be like, oh, you don't have that badge to obey you in this region or something. You know? Like,
I guess you could do
stuff
that.
like
So what? So
where
they
it's
pretty
like-
much force you to catch Pokemon from that region and like restart each
No,
time.
or just have your low level Pokemon again, which would be great
But
because
you,
there's so
but
many
you
times.
don't get low level Pokemon. What are they gonna do? Make your
So you go
level
back to
75
whatever region you
Charizard? They're
want
gonna
to.
devolve it to a level 5 Charmander.
No, you talk to whatever professors in that region. You get a new Pokemon if you want. You could catch low-level Pokemon in that region, or go to a different region and catch lower-level Pokemon, which you would either know where it's at. You know where it's at. It's Pokemon. Like, people are so deep into this. You know, they're breeding and all that. That would be great. And it would also help with the thing where it's like, sometimes I play the Pokemon game and I just have that one core Pokemon that gets me through the entire game.
Oh,
Sorry, not anymore. You know?
Right, yeah.
That's the perfect, like, roadblock where it'd be like, thank you for forcing me to.
I guess, man. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. They definitely have a full plate ahead of them, but definitely gonna be Generation.
Every
8.
Pokemon has an Alolan.
100%. I think it's gonna be
form.
Generation 8. Yeah. Every Pokemon has an Alolan form.
Generation
Crazy.
X.
Yeah. Then we had the biggest bombshell I think that they could have possibly ever given to us. Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. We have our reactions up too. Make sure you check that video out. But as soon as the outer space happened, Brian's sitting to my left, and he just goes, Metroid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
And did you
no
have
way.
goosebumps started a little bit? And you're
A
like,
little bit, and I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. And then it starts fading through the clouds of space, you know, and you're going through.
And I'm like,
and
Smash
as-
4. I'm literally
and-
sitting there and I'm like, oh, Smash 4, I called it.
And
when
then,
I was watching
and
it.
then like
Seriously.
2.76 seconds later,
Yeah.
you get it starts to form a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And as soon as I see the lightning bolt, I'm like, oh, that's the screw attack symbol. This is Metroid. I'm like, Brian, you're absolutely right. 100%. This is Metroid.
Yeah.
It is Metroid Prime 4. I can't wait. Or it's
There
like,
was a lot more screaming.
oh yeah, but I don't want to spoil that here. So go make sure you watch the other video. I mean, I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Cool.
We actually made that girl leave the house because we were screaming so loud.
What girl?
So, I don't know. There was some girl who was upstairs with
Chloe.
someone.
No, I don't even know. I'm just making up.
I have no idea,
Maybe
but.
with someone's one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
Drew's
think
girlfriend
she just
probably,
woke
yeah.
up, but it was like 1 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
so it's like, come on. Anyway, so she left, whatever, because I was screaming so loud.
Wow.
But it's like, so you see the lightning bolt start to fade in, and I'm like, oh, that's what it's gonna be. And then all of a sudden, coming from the front of the screen, just a black 4
Yeah.
pops up, and I'm like, oh
Like
my god.
Smash 4, it's
I'm
coming.
like, oh my god, Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime 4.
I'm
and
like,
then I was
Pikmin 4.
I was thinking in my head, what if it did pop up and it said Smash 4?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I was like, oh no. I'm like, what if? And then I was like, what if it pops up and it's Monster Hunter 4
That would stink.
that they brought up? And I was like,
Even more.
oh my god, I'm so scared.
I'm
And
happy
then-
it's on PS4, but
And
go
then
ahead.
4 pops up, and then Metroid Prime pops up, and it goes. It makes like the weird like Metroid.
They should have a
noise
little
and
Metroid
stuff.
just like go by.
And I was
too.
like, oh my god. I'm like, yes. And then it pops up with a message now in development for
Nintendo
Nintendo
Switch.
Switch. And I was like, oh, thank God. that this is real. Like, finally. And then I saw this picture on Reddit. It was hilarious. It was, instead of saying, now development for Nintendo Switch at the bottom, it was white. And it was like, Jesus Christ, now you people can stop asking us for this game. Now you know that it's real. You don't have to talk to us or tweet us or get mad at us or anything about this game. It is real. And, like, that's what the message said. And I'm like, okay, awesome. And I walked in and Bob, again, also said when the Switch came out, I'm like, what would it take to make you buy a Switch? He's like, I don't want one. I'm like, what would it take to get? He's like, when Metroid comes out for it. When they make a Metroid game for the Switch, he's like, I'll buy one.
That's cool.
And I'm like, okay, cool, dude. So then I walked in yesterday to work, and I was like, so, dude, Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch, I'm gonna buy it. He goes, no. All they told us is that it's now in development. And I was like,
the hype train's there.
Okay. I'm like, hey, that's a very valid thing. It's like, this game clearly, like we said on that thing, is not till like 2020 is this game coming out.
Yeah, it's
like,
going to
this
be a
game,
while.
This game is going to be a long time, but it's like, who cares? Because we literally skipped over 3 or 2
We should have
consoles.
a race between that and Death Stranding.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. We will do that. Every time we get a little bit of info, we'll mention it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's been 2 consoles that we've gone without a first-person Metroid game. That one was on GameCube.
Yeah.
All right. So, or no, I'm
DS.
such a liar. It was on the Wii. Metroid Prime 3 was on the Wii, so it's not been. And we had it on the Wii.
Yeah.
But it looked not that great on the Wii. Wii
Federation
U
Force, though, good enough.
doesn't count.
Come on.
Wii U was 720, didn't have whatever. I am so pumped to get a 1080p, 60 frames per second.
4K or
Metroid
get out.
game.
I don't even care.
Dude, maybe make it 4K. And that's what we said then. And I think you and I said this. But what if it's, or maybe you and I don't remember. What if this game comes out at the end of the Switch's life cycle? I think you said this. And then it bleeds into their next console, and this is going to be the Breath of the Wild, where it's on the old Switch console, and then whatever Nintendo's next console is.
100%.
And that's going to be the bridge. And I'm like, no, this is going to be between the Switch, and then the next Switch that comes out, whether it's Switch Slim, Switch Pro, Switch 4K,
just like an
whatever they call it, and it's the better graphics. Everything plays better on Switch 2, or whatever they call it, or the new Switch.
The switcheroo.
Exactly. Whatever they decide to call it. And this will be the bridge between that, and it's going to be the new Switch is going to do 4K, and we're going to get a 4K Metroid game.
And that's it. Drop the mic down.
How amazing. Like, that's all I need. This press conference seriously could have been Metroid Prime 4 only. Like, it could. Their whole thing could have been a 2.5-minute spotlight.
So I definitely thought that was Smash 4.
Did you, like, seriously think it was
Here's
Smash
why, though. I'll set the scene because I need to document the scene.
Do it. Take me
Taking
back.
the walk in the park, the stroll, and I was like, I got to watch this in 160p. So bad. You know what I mean? But I was like, because even today, bam, data's at 50%. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me. It's from watching 2 press conferences, not even in, like, low quality. And then as I see, the sun's glaring in there, and I just see, like, the little bar that kind of looks like Smash, and I see the 4 come in. And I literally, like, laugh to myself. I'm like, oh, like it happened. You know what I mean? And then it says Metroid, and that's when you're like, Metroid, and then I was like, yeah. But it was good. I'm excited because I've never played a Metroid game. Well, I mean, I've played Metroid games, but not, like, to sit down and actually go through it.
Yeah.
Like, I've started so many
We're going to
times.
get you the Metroid Prime collection on Wii.
Yeah.
You're going to play through
And
all
so with
those, and then you can play it on Dan's NES Classic, play the original.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about Metroid Prime 2. Actually, I think you can get that on
Federation
VC.
Force.
You can get Metroid Prime 2 for VC on your 3DS. You can get Super Metroid on VC for your Wii U,
Yeah.
so you can play it there. And then Metroid Prime 4, because Super Metroid is actually, when you start the game, says Metroid 3 on it, which I think is a really cool thing. But everybody thinks that's number 2. It's not. There's 2 on Game Boy. But then you can play Metroid Fusion on your Game Boy, which is on Wii U Virtual Console.
Okay.
Fusion was like an all-new game. Zero Mission was the remake of 1. But then you can get Prime 4, or you can get 4, which is Metroid Prime. Play through all those on Wii.
I'm ready.
And then you can do Other M, which is also on Wii.
Yeah.
And that's like the end of that. And then you can do Hunters, which Hunters was like, but
Is that DS?
yeah, that was on the regular DS, and that was Metroid Prime Hunters.
OG.
And that was, I think, in between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then Metroid Fusion, though, is the furthest in the timeline that we've gone, is Metroid Fusion. That's after, like, everything, after she's quit the Federation and, like, all that stuff. So I'm super excited, though, to get more Metroid. Like, it's finally happening. That's why I actually wore my Metroid shirt.
I wish I had that attachment to it and I could, like
Like,
feel that.
I literally,
feeling
like,
you
I am
had
so
there.
excited. And seriously, go watch that. I think we even cut out the Metroid part solely
Nice.
just to
Good,
watch
I'm gonna
that.
have to watch
Go
that.
watch that 30 seconds of me screaming at the camera. It's awesome.
I can't wait.
Then after Metroid, what is the only thing that can follow up a Metroid Prime 4 announcement?
Animal Crossing.
Yarn Yoshi.
Okay.
And it did. And that's what they decided to do right afterwards. I'm like, God, that should have been the end of the show. But whatever. Yoshi coming out 2018.
I'm not
said
convinced
Yoshi
it's Yarn, though.
cross-screen.
I'm not
It
convinced it's
is.
Yarn.
It showed it
Honestly,
as Yarn.
if it's felt, I'll believe it's felt before Yarn. You know? All right. Go for the
Yoshi
confirmation.
on Nintendo Switch.
I don't think it's Yarn, though. Is it? Yeah, that's definitely.
That's not it though. That's
Yeah, that's like old school.
Oh, come on. Here it is. Look at that. Look at all the cardboard. That right there is yarn. Right there.
That's dank Yarnum Nugs.
That is yarn. That guy's yarn. That guy's
Okay,
yarn.
maybe.
That's all that.
I don't
Not
know.
a maybe.
Well, okay,
it's
I'm gonna
right
go back.
there.
I watched it in 160p. Everything's blurry. Everything looks like yarn in 160p.
Everything looks like yarn.
So fair enough. Yeah.
Here we go. This is a better image.
Yeah, it looks good though. Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, he's yarn.
I don't know.
He's yarn. Look at you can.
It
straight
looks
up-
like felt.
You can straight up see that he's yarn. What you think he's flocked?
Or maybe like tennis balls.
flocking,
Yeah.
like those pop figures are now, where they're fuzzy. Anyway, yeah. So we got Yoshi.
Fuzzy.
Awesome. Badass. Can't wait for that. Also focuses on co-op, much like Yoshi's Woolly World did.
Okay.
So this would be awesome if it's another online co-op game. Put online co-op in all these games because then it becomes viable for you to charge for it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I guess so.
It's like, am I gonna pay for online when all I can play online? Arms,
Nope.
Splatoon, and Mario Kart, and Smash when that comes out. Is that it? No, you need to be hawking online in all your games, man. Make them all co-op.
Yeah,
do
like
that.
Bioshock 2 core.
Exactly, but that game sucked.
Online.
So, then after Yoshi, we had Fire Emblem Warriors, which I talked about earlier. That's coming out fall 2017, is what they said. So, okay, cool.
Thanksgiving.
That's gonna
release.
be that's gonna be no.
It'll be
It's
under
another
your turkey.
Warriors game. Cool. I might get it. I don't know. That probably won't be a day one purchase for me, but whatever. Then we had Zelda DLC showed up. We got a release date for DLC 1, June 30th. So the end of this month, we're getting it. Can't wait. DLC 2, we finally figured out what it is. They showed off a little bit. It takes place 100 years in the future, and it's almost like a flashback. I think it's when it casts its songs. Whatever.
They
It's cool.
really
All
went-
the champions
yeah.
are alive. That's really cool. Can't wait to see what the other like deeper features are that come out, like what the extra like items are and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Can't
they
wait.
really went overboard with the font though. You know,
Yeah, they did.
like just seeing the logo was like.
I know, but they made
I
it
just want it
gorgeous
from the
though. It was
logo. That's what I
absolutely
mean.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Then next up we got Skyrim coming to Switch. Still no release date for that. Neither Bethesda nor Nintendo gave a release date for that. So
It's-
a little worried, but whatever. But it's like Skyrim again, and I saw another thing on Reddit. Love the Reddit. It was the thing, and it was Bethesda. It was Bethesda's press conference, E3 2037. Hey everyone, we're excited to announce Skyrim is coming to the PS8. And I'm like, oh, that's so true.
That's
though,
what I
how
said
it's like,
though. I said
it's
that
coming
about
to
Bethesda,
everything,
where
and
it's
they're
like
just moving it.
they're milking that so bad.
Yeah, they are.
But I just want to
milking
throw
it.
out,
MELK.
that's not bad either, because how I brought up Destiny, it's like Destiny had a 10-year plan. No, 2 years later, 3 years later, we're getting Destiny 2.
Right.
So it's like you can complain like, why are you not supporting these games long enough? And then when companies do support them long enough,
Yeah, then
it's
you
like,
bitch
why
about
are you
that.
milking it? So they're never gonna win.
Right.
So at least somebody's doing it.
And it's cool. And then I found out too that this version of Skyrim is published by Nintendo. This is the first time that a Bethesda game has not been published by Bethesda themselves.
Ooh.
Very interesting. So Nintendo has
Cool.
what that entails, what that means. I don't really know. No
Yeah.
one did. But we'll see what we get. The cool Zelda DLC though, you tap the Link
Real
amiibo to
support,
it. You
yeah.
get Link's champion tunic. You get the Link clothes, really cool. You get the Master Sword. You get the Highland shield.
Very
That's
cool.
cool. That's awesome. Whatever. And then it is confirmed that this does come with all the DLC.
Okay.
So that's awesome. Probably 1080p, 60 frames per second, or 30 frames per second, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it was on Xbox 360 and PS3, whatever. I don't really care because it's like then you dock it and then that dings it down to 720.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, no one ever played a Bethesda game for the graphics. Like, those games aren't pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, get over it. Unless you're on PC and you mod whatever, PC Master Race,
Nerd.
go suck a nut. And then
Yes.
lastly, we have what ended the show. Oh, yeah, there was also Mario and Rabbids was shown in there. We had a release date for that, which is August 27th?
9th?
August, let me check my notes here.
20. What is it? 29th?
Oh, it is the 29th. Dang, okay, cool. Dope.
You know, just in time, the kids are
Oh,
going back
there's
to
right
school,
down there, yeah.
and I see them in their backpacks. They're gonna have their Switch and the Rabbids.
Exclusively on Nintendo Switch, August 29th. From Ubisoft is a playful mashup of the Mushroom Kingdom with the irreverent Rabbids. The turn-based combat adventure combines classic Mario characters and wonderfully hilarious Mario-themed Rabbids with fun exploration for fans of all ages. The game launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch August 29th, 2017.
Now I'm gonna say though,
So dope.
what if this was never leaked? There was no sound of a new Mario RPG coming out. There was no sound of a Mario Rabbids crossover. This PowerPoint they had wasn't leaked. Can you imagine that? I feel like that how you felt about Metroid, though. We all would have felt like at the beginning of Ubisoft, like, oh my god,
Yes,
to see Mario
at
come
the
out.
Ubisoft
like
one,
we
to
all would
see
have been like
Miyamoto
up
come out and all
screaming,
that.
like, are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah, I'd
and
have
it's
lost
so
it.
sad that that moment was taken away.
Yeah, I know.
Because like people had to ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Screw
to me,
you,
but
Laura Kate Dale.
it's like kind of doing a Destiny raid for the first time.
Yeah.
Would have been like seeing that without being spoiled. Like
Like,
oh
yeah,
my god,
yeah,
the
it'd be awesome.
experience. Like
Yeah.
You know, maybe
totally
we'll
agree.
wait another 10 years and hopefully something doesn't get leaked like that.
And then the last thing of the trailer was Mario Odyssey, in which we see a dinosaur. It's a nice grassy
That was
plain
great,
field.
though.
And I'm like, oh, this is another thing for Xenoblade 2. This is awesome. I can't wait. Or it's a new IP, or it's new something. Can't wait. And then a dinosaur runs out. And I was like, and what I thought, I'm like, oh, this is Monster Hunter. I'm like, this is Monster Hunter Double Cross. We're finally getting an announcement for the
Monster
West.
Hunter,
Like,
but
this is
yeah.
going to be Monster Hunter. Awesome. And it's a dinosaur, and then it roars, you know, it's super loud, whatever. Maggie, as we're watching it, she goes, oh, is this Jurassic Park?
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, no, it's not Jurassic Park. Then we're going to get a Jurassic Park game. But then you see he's got the Mario hat. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Mario DLC for Monster Hunter, because the 3DS games got Zelda DLC. So I'm like, okay, cool, Mario DLC for Monster Hunter, whatever, that's awesome. And then the eyes pop up, and I'm like, oh, this is Mario Odyssey. Yeah. And then I went back and watched it when we weren't, like, screaming at the TV. And he says something, and he's like, get out, is, like, what the hat says. And then Mario, like, pops out of the dinosaur or whatever. Or the dinosaur becomes Mario, who, like, jumps up and stuff. Yeah. So now we learned Mario can overtake people and, like, overtake things. He can overtake bullet bills, Goombas, Koopas, like, tanks, and, like, all this stuff. Mario's, like, now has the ability to, like, go inside of him. The frog, he overtook Dat Boy. Yeah. And that's where the internet is blowing up about Dat Boy being in Mario.
Don't worry. We're going to have a little something on that, on Dat Boy.
I can't wait to see what we have on Dat Boy. I have no idea what we have on Dat Boy, but I can't wait to see. But it's like, so all that stuff. So then I'm rewatching it, and it actually shows, like, how Mario does it, where Mario throws the hat, and he, like, gets, like, sucked through the body of these characters, and, like, gets, like, sucked up into their brain, and he's, like, going through, like, all their bodily fluids and stuff, and, like, gets sucked up into their brain, and that's how he takes over these characters, and for whatever reason, it spontaneously makes them grow a mustache and wear Mario's hat. I don't know. But whatever, that's awesome. But then the other thing I found on, of course, the wonderful Reddit also was this image. I think I linked it, or maybe Alex did. Of it was Microsoft, and it was Phil Spencer saying, "Oh yeah, Xbox, we have all these teraflops, we have all these crazy graphics, we have," and then it goes ... And then it go and it's like everybody's just kind of sitting there like, okay, and it's actually Per Schneider from IGN and like his crew and stuff, and they're sitting there just kind of like this, whatever. Yeah. And then the next image down is Mario can take over a frog or something. It's like a frog in a Mario hat, and everyone's screaming at the camera like, yeah, that's awesome, like awesome, just for like a frog wearing Mario's hat and stuff. I'm like, that's so cool, and that just like goes back to why Nintendo is seriously awesome and why like Nintendo's on top, because they make all these games and they're so much fun, and we're talking about Nintendo and everybody's talking about Nintendo. Nintendo is the forefront of everybody's mind right now, and it's like, what's not in the forefront of everyone's mind? Skull and Bones.
It's kind of in front of mine though.
Like all these other games, but you're thinking about it and you're happy about it, but that is not at the absolute forefront.
Like, at the very
mind.
front of my mind, though,
right up front
Steep
here.
DLC is at the very front.
And so that's my thing, is like, you look at all these games that are like high-powered, like online multiplayer games and all these awesome graphics and like guns and online and all this crazy stuff, and it's like, that's all cool, that's all well and good, but it's like, we've seen that before. And then it's like Nintendo's like, hey, here's the new Mario, here's Mario Odyssey, and I'm like, I already know I'm gonna sink so much of my life into Mario Odyssey. I can't wait. And it's just like, Nintendo is the only company that has that power that can be like, hey, here's this game and you're going to enjoy it and it's going to be fun, and the graphics aren't the best, it's not 4K, but it's like, but you're going to have more fun playing these games than you will any other game that comes out this year. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like Nintendo doesn't need like the deep, dark, like crazy stories that like Uncharted has, or like Tomb Raider or anything like that. Yeah. It's like, those can be there and there's a place for both of them to exist, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's like the fun, enjoyable gameplay of Nintendo games really, I think, is what comes out on top. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, that's kind of my thought on it. That's really cool. But that was a quick little recap too on E3.
Well, you also always say though about how you don't like Mario Sunshine because all the levels look the same. Yeah. The first thing when you think Mario Odyssey is nothing looks the same. Yep. Like every level is completely different. Yep, they're all just like polar opposites. Yep. It's gonna be so interesting when it comes out. I can't wait to see it. And then I guess there's a huge emphasis on outfits. I was watching the Treehouse, and the special coins that you know how there's like 100 of those coins in each level. Okay. The coins are special currency for those worlds. So like the purple triangles, that is the coin of that Mexican world or whatever it is, or that Hispanic world. And then there's also yellow coins. Yeah. And I even asked that to him, like, is that what a peso looks like? Like an upside down purple triangle? Maybe. But then, so it's like, that's only in that world. Then you have like the coins in New Donk City are coins, and I think they have like a lightning bolt, or they have like some like weird symbol on them, and they're purple. And it's like, oh, maybe it is a banana. That would make more sense. Is it on the coin? Oh. Now we're peeling that banana. I don't remember what. I don't even know. I have no idea. Right, but it is Pauline. Pauline is actually the mayor of New Donk City, which I think is going on. I'm like, that's awesome. That Captain Toad lives there too.
Her and Donkey Kong have now come together
did you see
to
that?
Like go over their feud. What's that?
Captain Toad is in there too.
And where?
Daniel sent me a picture where you meet Captain Toad in Mario Odyssey, and it was in like New Donk City.
That's so cool. I love Captain Toad.
Yeah,
those are my favorite parts of Mario 3 World. That's so cool.
So he's
I can't wait to play
too.
that. Yeah, dude, when are we getting the Captain Toad remake for Switch? I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm down.
But that's gonna be really cool. And then there's all of that stuff. But yeah, so all the coins do things. But you have to go and buy. You have to go to whatever the Cap store is. I forget what it's called. But you have to,
Caps R Us.
something like that.
Okay.
But then you have to go there and then buy outfits, and you buy different parts of the outfits, I think, or maybe you buy. No, I think you definitely buy different parts of the outfits, kind of Breath of the Wild style, and Wild style from Lego Movie. That's awesome. What if she was a playable character in
There you go.
Legend of Zelda? That'd be so cool.
Okay.
That's how my mind works. Everyone, now you're getting into
it's a
the
bridge
psyche.
too far.
Yeah.
That's your one.
What do you mean?
No, you have one per episode.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
exactly. So that's it right there. I spent it.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, so you get all these coins and stuff, and you use those special currencies to buy those outfits, and those outfits are what help you venture further into that world. So there's like one world they were showing is like this overgrown forest, and it's like you have to buy the adventurer outfit from, but then it's like
Love it. Give me a grind.
All these suits or all these outfits that he's getting are from other Mario games, and it's awesome. And they're all from like the old Mario games. Like the one is where he's a chef. That was in Yoshi's Cookie on NES, and so that's that. Then there's the other one where he's wearing like the pinstripe and he's got like the blue overalls with all the stars
He
on.
was a chef from Lost Levels or whatever.
No, that was from Mario Golf. And it's his Mario Golf outfit, and then there's the chef outfit from Yoshi's Cookie, and then there's the Explorer outfit, which I forget what game that's from. And then there's like another one that was from a different game, and I'm like, that's cool. And someone posted all the images together, and I'm like, that's really cool that they're like, they are seriously going deep into the roots of Mario to pull out all these Easter eggs and like all these things, very similar to what they did with Breath of the Wild, where it's like, yeah, you have like Ruto Pond, and Ruto was one of the characters from the older games. You know, you have Tingle Island from, you know, obviously from Majora's Mask. You have all these different names of all these different characters. You know, you have Saria's Forest or whatever, who was like the forest spirit in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
So you have like all that stuff going on, and that's really cool. And it seems to be that Mario is getting that same treatment, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And so I'm like, there's no way this game is not going to score less than a 9.5 from everyone.
I mean, it's possible.
Like, absolutely. I mean, it's possible.
Anything's possible, but I'm sure it's going to get 10 matches.
I'm sure it's going to get plenty of 10s, and this is going to be.
Will it be higher than Breath of the Wild on Metacritic?
There's no way.
That's the thing.
Absolutely not. There's no way.
It should be, though, I almost feel like.
It probably should be.
Because what is Nintendo? Nintendo is not Zelda, and that Nintendo is Mario at the very top. But I can still see why people like Zelda more.
And I was thinking about Metroid Prime 2, like when Metroid Prime 4 also. But when that comes out, dude, that game better be like a 9.5 or 10.
I have no doubt that it won't be.
And if it is, and you have 3 perfect 10s on your console, like that close together, and they are those huge franchises, that's amazing. And then Pokemon's gonna come out, and Pokemon's probably gonna be great. It's like, dude, I have so much faith in Nintendo to not screw this up, that if anything comes out and gets an 8 out of 10, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
Live on camera for you.
I'll get you a pallet of tissues.
So yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of E3.
Now wait,
what do you think overall?
I want to shout out what wasn't there.
Yeah, what wasn't
Virtual console, anything.
there? Okay, no virtual console. That's very
SNES
true.
Mini.
Very true. I'm kind of thinking that SNES Mini might not even happen.
No, I think they're safe. They showed too much. Like that's would have been an afterthought to everything else they showed. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think NES because I'm a firm believer that the NES was like a limited like holiday run thing that they wanted.
I think it'll come this year though.
It's possible, but. We'll
Just
see.
at a later, like, oh, here's a direct. Oh, this is coming and it's out, you know, in 2 months or something.
It was announced though. The NES was announced around this time last year. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else were you gonna say too?
No, I said virtual console too.
Oh, yeah, virtual console should have been there.
It really
but it's
didn't
also
fit what was going on
exactly.
the whole time.
It's
So
like there's no
whatever.
place for it here, and it's like we still have all day tomorrow, and maybe they'll say something about virtual console there. I doubt it, but virtual console definitely seems like it's like a direct thing. And I'm also a firm believer that virtual console is gonna go live when their online features go live.
Yeah, which is cool. Like it's like we always say, there's way too much coming out this year to enjoy fully. That it's like hold that other stuff off if you need to.
Exactly. It's like, and I love
year.
that by not saying anything about virtual console, they are sending the message, hey, we are focused on the future. We are focused on the here and now. We are not focusing on our past. Although our past and our history is great, we will come back to that later. We're focusing on this. And I will say, a lot of these games, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I guess 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of the games of this. So there was a few games on here that were all 2018. You had Pokemon, Yoshi, Kirby, Metroid.
But even
are all
Pokken, like,
2018s.
when does Pokken come out again?
September 22nd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
I'm so down.
That's what I mean.
I'm getting that for sure. Getting Rabbids. Like every game has one this month.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm
that's
saying.
what I mean.
Every month we get a brand new like Nintendo like published game. It's
Classic.
like what more do you want? Sony is not pumping out exclusives like Sony Studio exclusives every month.
Yeah, but I think there's a different. There's a difference. You can't really compare those.
Why not?
Same with Xbox.
Why not?
Xbox doesn't have it together. Obviously.
Xbox definitely does not have it together. They have no exclusives. So it's like.
But I think the breadth of the Sony exclusives is kind of different. Not really. Like
Okay.
Breath of the Wild is a big game and everything, but that game's been in development for so long.
Yeah, so I have a bunch
But
of
it's
the
like,
other
what
Sonic
if they?
games.
This is like so overdue and needed these games. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
totally
to like
agree.
bring
Totally
all the
agree.
respect back and all those people back in. Whereas if they release like 1 month Last of Us, the next month Uncharted 5, the next month, oh, here's Spider-Man, Days Gone, Death Stranding, you'd be like, dude, I'm burnt out. You know?
Yeah.
Like the breadth of those games is so much. I don't want to say bigger,
Right.
but in like more taxing on you to go
Sure.
through it and everything.
I agree.
Whereas these are like, look, it's just so aesthetically pleasing, all these Mario games and all that, where it's
Right.
just an easy sit back, let's go
I know,
through
because
it.
we seriously do not have a Mario game on the Switch yet.
Yeah.
The only thing we have is Mario Kart is the only game with Mario in it
Yeah.
on the Switch. That's insane. After 3, almost 4 months.
Insanity.
It is. So yeah, I don't know. I find it very interesting. 2018 is looking like a really good year already. So
Too much already. Slow down.
Yeah, I know.
We're not even here yet.
Any closing thoughts on E3 and their presentation?
Nintendo's
think,
back in the game. That's all I have
Nintendo
to
is
say.
back in the game. Totally agree.
And I didn't think it was
100%.
possible, and I don't know how they did it.
But they did it,
I guess, yeah.
and I'm super excited for it. I can't wait. I can't wait to play all these awesome games.
Yeah, same.
And then my last closing thought was, I said this to Brian too, and I think you too as well.
Good band.
Yeah.
Not really.
Forcing you to get their music.
Yeah, they forced us.
Right.
And we're going to
we
force
had-
it back to them.
Right.
We'll stick it to them one of these days.
But I seriously think that the Switch now, and especially in the middle of next year, by the middle of next year, it will be viable to be your only console. Like, say all you had was a Switch, I think there's going to be enough games on it to where, like, you can be satisfied as a gamer having this just as that. Now, Brian brought up a good point saying, if you're a Nintendo fan, that's accurate. If you like Mario, if you like Yoshi, if you like Kirby, that's
Yeah.
there. And I said that's very true. But now that we're getting third-party support of, we're getting Skyrim, we're getting Rocket League, we're getting FIFA, we're getting NBA, we're
Yeah.
getting all these awesome things. The only thing you're not getting is first-person shooters. But it's like, okay, cool. If you're not a fan of first-person shooters, like, but this thing is like, can you really justify having a PS4 and Xbox One just for first-person shooters? It's like, come on. But it's like every other genre you could possibly want, Nintendo has it. You know what I mean?
It goes back to the pie theory, okay?
Totally agree.
You need a slice of all the pies.
All of them.
You know,
Every
like
last
I
one.
would get, if it was only Switch for me, I'd get sick of it though, kind of. You know?
Sure, I totally agree. And that's like if I only had my PS4, I'd be sick of it. If I only had my Xbox One,
Exactly,
I'd
and
be
I
sick of
think
it.
the
But
variety
that's
is
just
the
me
spice
and my
of this
neediness.
life.
But to a parent who's coming in and is like, hey, my kid's turning 10 years old this year. I'm thinking about getting him like his
An
first
N-Gage.
real video game system. What can I get him?
Engage.
If I will have no problem now recommending the Switch. Whereas before last month, I had a problem recommending it and saying, yeah, you got Zelda, you got Mario Kart, yeah, you got some downloadable games, but it's
Minecraft.
like, oh, the stigma of downloadable games is still alive and strong. Where it's like, oh, it's a
Oh, yeah.
downloadable game. Ew, I'm not paying for that. Like, I want
Yeah.
the real games. When you start going to bringing real games to the Switch, and I'm like, Shovel Knight, like Owlboy, Blaster Master Zero, like all these downloadable games,
Yeah.
Mr. Shifty,
That's
like,
bad.
you know, all these games are like, these are downloadable, these are real games
Mhm.
for your system that you will get enjoyment out of.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, just because they're downloadable and they're cheap, that must mean they're not good. And I'm like, you're all moron.
I mean, I think we were all in that aspect at one time.
We were at one time, but it's like, it's
100%.
2017, like, get over it.
Like on
if you really
360,
care-
man, and like, oh, these indie games are coming. And we were
Exactly,
like,
but then it's like things like
oh,
Journey proved us wrong, and Limbo proved us
So
wrong.
much.
and Inside
Like I
and
told you, all these
that.
indie games that I'm finding on Steam and I'm buying, they're
Yeah.
like, these are amazing and better than half the stuff that's out now.
Exactly, and so I'm like, there you go. It's like, so, but like people are so like the thing, and that just goes to my point of like the video gaming genre. Like video games are massive, but it's like just me talking to people that I meet at work, people I talk to online, people I meet just on the street and stuff. Is like people really don't know a whole lot about video games,
Yeah.
and it's like so many people have asked, hey, have you watched E3? Hey, what are you excited for from E3? And they're like, oh, I didn't even know E3 was going on right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you call yourself like a dedicated hardcore gamer, and you don't even know about the biggest week in gaming where everything gets announced, and like you have no idea. And I'm like, but again, and it's like those are the people who are like, oh yeah, I'm just coming in, I just get my Call of Duty every year, I get my Madden every year, and I get my 2K18 every year, or I get my
And I
NBA
play Overwatch.
2K18. Yeah. And it's like, and then I play Overwatch or like whatever. And it's like, that's the thing is like, yeah, you play your 4 games a year, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, are you like you're a gamer? But it's like I wouldn't classify that as hardcore. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I just get whatever the newest multiplayer badass military shooter is every year, and I stick to that. And then I get my awesome sports games every year, and then maybe I get my awesome NASCAR game in there every year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, but like, what about all these awesome other games? Like, I'm trying to like talk to you about like Uncharted or Last of Us or something.
It's like
And they're
education,
oh,
though.
okay. Yeah, and, it's
And
like,
what's
it's just so
advertised
hard.
the
But
most, you
again,
know?
that's
That's-
like, oh my god, we're getting really long here.
All right, that's
But,
the next topic.
Yeah, but that's a whole topic for like a whole not Nintendo themed video.
Advertisement and education.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, closing thoughts
I can
on
make a good
E3,
like intro to that, kind of like I did for the seasons before fall review.
Yeah, That was good. But yeah, so anyway, that was our thoughts on E3. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Did you watch E3? Are you one of the people who didn't even know E3 was going on this week? If you didn't and you're on YouTube, what the hell? How? How did you not know? Let me know how you didn't know down below. Like the video, subscribe please. That would mean a lot. Check out all of our other SuperGen content too. We've got the SuperGen Podcast, which is just our general gaming show. We've got BJ's in the morning. We've got Perfect Tens. We've got reviews. We've got anything you could possibly want on our channel. Some stuff is going to be linked at the end of this video. So make sure you check it out, and I really appreciate it. And as always, just like I began the show, please tweet at GameOverGreggy, because that would mean a lot to me.
You know what we're going to do for the first time, though? Shouts out to Wave Shaper.
Shouts out to
For
Wave
the
Shaper
song that's been going on.
For the awesome things that you let us use in probably every single one of our videos that we've made.
For this excellent intro and later outro.
Yeah,
to
for this
quote
incredible
the once great
intro and later outro.
Alex.
Now outro, because the outro is about to happen right here.
See ya.
Peace out.